Today I want to talk about the Filipino lesson in humility. You know, when I first came here, I didn't come here to change the Philippines. I came here to let the Philippines change me. And a lot of Americans and a lot of Westerners, when they come over here, they feel like they have to somehow change the Philippines. And it's okay to help out and do things over here to make the Philippines better. I totally am on board with that. Don't get me wrong. But some people think like we need to teach them our Western ways, our Western politics. And even though we might not like some of the politics that go on over here, it's not really our business to be changing their politics or to get involved in their politics. And it's something that we should actually stay out of. You know, when we come here to retire. And although once in a while I do step out and talk about politics on occasion, I do try to stay away from it from the most part. Okay, and one of the biggest things I learned over here is people don't talk too much about the politics. Sometimes the guys do once in a while a little bit. But you want to know something? For the most part, when I sit around a table over here, very rarely do they talk about who the president is, who's running, who's doing this, who's doing that. It's almost like they could care less because you know what? They're so used to the lack of change, as we should in the United States, that they don't even really care. It doesn't faze them because they know they just have to go through another cycle of having another president, just like we in the United States have to go through the cycle that we're going through right now. And as bad as it is, it's still a bad cycle, you know, in the United States, and it's really hurting. A lot of people are talking about it. But over here, you know, when they go through a cycle, a bad cycle, nobody really talks about it that much. It's like, it's just part of life over here. It's part of the background noise. You know, there's not much we can do about it. It's kind of the same way in the United States. There's not much we can do about it. The powers that be are going to be the powers that be, no matter whether we like it or not. The only way you can change that is with a vote, and even then, sometimes I question that. You know, but anyway, I want to talk about humility in the Philippines. You know, one of the things I notice around here is whenever you help somebody, it's always thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. You know, or they say something back to you. They're very thankful for that. And the love that you get back is huge. But the humility that I see in some people when you give them something or you help them, if you walk up to somebody in the streets that you see laying in the streets and they're sleeping in the streets, and you walk up to them and you give them 100 pesos or 500 pesos or 300 pesos or even 20 pesos, they're always very thankful for it. And you could see it in their faces. I mean, I remember up in Manila, and I chatted about this one before in one of my other vlogs, was I bought a burger, french fries, and a Coke for these two kids. And they chased me probably about 2 blocks to try to find me just to thank me again. And they actually thanked me while I was on video. And I was doing that vlog that day, and they come running up to me to thank me again. And I just thought it was kind of cute because it was a lesson for me that it showed me, wow, this kid chased me down 3 blocks to find me, to thank me again. And I kind of really enjoyed that moment because of the fact that it kind of taught me something. We should be more thankful when people do things for us. And especially to Filipinos over here that do things for us. And a lot of times, a lot of the expats that I see coming in now, the expats give back tenfold what the Filipinos give to them to show their gratitude. You know why? Because a lot of us can. A lot of the expats that come over here, they have the wherewithal to help families and to help change families. And some of these families with their neighbors or whatever almost become our family. And it's kind of cool to watch that. And I've watched some of the expats that have come here become family members in some of the Filipino families in our little group. And it's really, really cool to see that. It's really like kind of a beautiful thing to see that. And I really love to watch that when it happens because the United States isn't like that. Even though it used to be like that, the people in the United States, like when you go over to your neighbor or something like that, it's no longer the same as it is here. You know, like over here we share food with our neighbors. We have get-togethers with our neighbors. We share our cabana with our neighbors. We're like almost like related. It's really strange to watch it, but you know, because coming from a Western country, you don't expect that. But over here you do. It's the humility. People they learn to love each other and get along with each other. But the thing I like about the expats over here that are in our group is that they've learned to become part of that family that we have here. And we're really, really, really close, you know. And Pax has been one of those people. Like I always mention Pax because Pax is like a prime example of the perfect Filipino, because he's such a nice guy. He's one of the most loving people you can meet. But he's not the only one that's like that. Most Filipinos are like Pax. Pax is the quintessential Filipino over here, and his wife is too. And we have many other friends like that too that are just like that. We have Romnick across the street. Romnick is a really, really nice guy. Him and his wife, beautiful people. Probably the nicest people you could ever meet. They run a beautiful furniture store, have really beautiful furniture, and they're just wonderful, humble people, and with a lot of humility, you know. And they're careful with their words. They're slow with their words, and that's one thing I notice about most Filipinos is that they're slow with their words to insult people. Yes, we have our gossipers over here too. You know, you're gonna have those everywhere. You're gonna have people like that. You're gonna have that group of people, of course. But I notice over here, there's not a lot of that going on. Yeah, you're gonna have a few of those wherever you go, okay? But for the most part over here, I see them as the most human type people. They're very loving, caring. They have qualities that a lot of us don't have in the West. The qualities that we used to have in the West back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even into the 70s and somewhat into the 80s, are all pretty much gone. Well, guess what? Over here, we have it over here. We have that humility, that love, that care, that tenderness, that neighborhood love that you have, that you used to have back home. We have it over here. I see people here as having a more genuine love for people. And I notice that the expats that I hang around with, most of them, we care about each other a lot, you know, and we check up on each other to make sure everybody's okay. We've learned the Filipino way. It's something that we've gotten from the Filipinos. And it's a quality that we all should have. It's something near and dear to my heart that I took on some of those qualities. I had some of those qualities even before I came here. At least I like to hope I did anyway, you know, and I learned those from my dad, you know. But over here I learn more. I see more of it in myself, and it's something I hope all you guys learn when you guys get over here too. Learn that humility, you know. Forget about all the static in the background. Learn to live and love, you know, and you'll be a much better person over here. Don't carry that negative crap, man. That negative crap. I see these vloggers out there with all this negative crap. I won't have any part of that. I don't want any part of it. I've had people, you know, ask me to try to, you know, get in on their channel or talk on their channel. I don't talk on other people's channels anymore because of the fact that I've seen a couple channels that I've helped out in the past. They went that negative way, and I'm not about that. And, you know, why would you want to get in that? Nobody wants to get in the muck. I want to be positive. I want to step into the positive. I want to be happy. I want to be doing good things. You know, I want to smile. I don't live in that negativity. If I wanted that, I would have stayed in the States. You know, but anyway, pick up some of that humility in the Philippines. And also learn to give, learn to love, learn to give back more. When somebody loves you, give it back more. More. Remember that word, more. Give it back. God bless, guys. Take care.